Hey, what's up, YouTube? What an interesting week on YouTube. What an interesting week on trucking completely. Where do we start? Oh, so many drivers. So many people want to get their hands wet on a stimulus package. No, me, I got one. It's ridiculous. Oh, everybody wants some free money. They're all hurting right now. I already told you. Shouldn't have been out on the road. Should have already had your stimulus packages set up. Should have already had your finances squared away. Well, it's getting there. It really is. On one hand, we got 100 drivers or so in DC, which are making contact with the White House. We got a group of guys on YouTube that set up a package, congressmen and stuff, which I really don't think they know what they're doing with that one, because look who they are. You know, guys, when you set these things up with congressmen and you have something go through Congress, they have different levels of what happens, okay? That means that they hear what you've got to say, then they investigate you. Did you get that? They investigate you. They investigate you and your friends, and they see what you are and see whether the public is going to like you before they even consider it. That's before it goes to the floor. Right? Now, with all the drama that's gone on YouTube right now, all the bull that's gone on YouTube right now, they're probably going to file charges for corruption, conning, stuff like that. Just saying, you really want the government to look into your personal details of what you've been doing on YouTube, especially with certain individuals that bully people? I mean, really, come on. Let's ask the question. You got Spectre here wanting $1.50 a mile, which, come on. They're not going to give you $1.50 because you're a bad businessman, because truck drivers or truck owner-operators can't run their business properly. And that's basically what it comes down to. The world is hurting right now. The whole country is hurting. In fact, the entire world is hurting right now. But we have to have a stimulus package for truck drivers. We're driving up and down the road. We really don't have any contact with coronavirus people. Maybe once or twice in a truck stop. I've been on the road this whole time. I've been to all of the hot spots, not just one or two. I've been to New York, New Jersey, Florida. I've been to Texas, Louisiana, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, California, Oregon, Washington. I've been to them all. Am I sick? No. Am I at risk? Yes. I'm at risk more than most of you. But I'm not asking for a handout. I'm not asking for somebody to bail me out of my truck. Oh, my business is failing because I can't survive 3 to 6 months. Then you got the stimulus packages. Nobody has actually ever explained what these stimulus packages are. The payroll protection. Yeah, you got some people saying it's a good idea, some people saying it's a bad idea. It gets forgiven if 85% of that loan goes towards payroll. So you get as much as you can. I think I heard James Best said that he got like $5,500. Well, that's easy. You just tell your payroll accountant, or you put it in your books, payroll from that $5,500 got paid. Over the next 5 weeks, you got $1,000 a week. Payroll, 100% of it's gone. Back to payroll. The money that you spend, the money that you earn, stays in your business account. You keep them separate. The loan gets forgiven. You don't have to pay it. we have guys out there that don't know what they're doing. Really don't know what they're doing. You have guys out there trying to create their own stimulus package. Oh, you know, drivers should do this, drivers should do that. Yeah, well, how far is that going to get you? You know, once you go into Congress, they gather all the information up, they look at your package, they look at your proposals, they look at who you are. So they look at, say, James Rogers, you know, Spectre. He's the guy that they're going to look at. They're going to look at YouTube. He's good friends with James Hensley. He's good friends with Coach. He has money ties to Little Dog. Just saying. You want them to look into all that kind of stuff? You think Congress is going to put somebody like that up on a pedestal and say, here's the solution? Yeah, there's a reason why James Hensley doesn't want his company put out there. Because of all the bad things that he's done to people. He's got so many different enemies. Congress will actually contact those people. Congress will contact the people that don't like you. Because they want to know why they don't like you. Then they'll make their decision. But this, everything what everybody else is doing. Coach is doing his own proposal. You know, I mean, you know, you got all these people doing their own proposals and this, and they're going to ask for money. But this shadows everything in comparison to the guys in Washington, D.C. They had a meeting today with the chief of staff. He already offered companies, owner-operated companies, under 4 trucks, as long as the truck was sitting and not making any money, they were going to give it $4,000 a week. Over the next year, that could be up to $40,000. It was either a week or a month, I can't quite remember, but it was around that. So they've already been offered something. They've already been talking to the person that's been talking to the president. Because they're in D.C. Whether we agree with what they did, they got the contact. You know what that's going to look like? Every other truck driver is now coming out. I have a stimulus package. I need a stimulus package. I need 40 grand. I need 40 grand. I need 50 grand. Really? And the stimulus package that's out there, you know, I mean, come on. Government doesn't like complicated. It's not hard. Government does not like complications. And if government want complications, they're going to insert it. They're not going to give everybody on an IFTA raising to how many miles you drove. That's not going to happen. They're going to want a one sum for every truck driver out there. It's not going to be 40 grand. It's not going to be 30 grand. It ain't even going to be 10 grand. They might give you 5 grand. Say, hey, thanks for doing your job. But this goes back to the beginning of the pandemic. Truck drivers were never supposed to be out on the road. Restocking America was supposed to have been done by the mega carriers. We all know this. That's why they've been given stimulus packages. The owner-operators got the scraps. The load boards got the scraps that the mega carriers couldn't cope with. And now you're left with none. Well, you have been. Freight rates are coming up. The automotive industry is coming back. Things are on the upkeep. Until the next shutdown, whenever that can be. It doesn't matter what you are. Doesn't matter what you've done. They're not going to do it. And if you want the government to look into you that hard, you have to think to yourself, what skeletons in the closet do I have? Because if the Democrats get behind this, the Republicans are going to find every single ghost, skeleton, bad letter, ex-girlfriend you've got to put you down so they can insert their agenda into the situation. And vice versa. If the Republicans get behind it, the Democrats are going to do exactly the same thing. And it's going to turn out to be a whole bunch of crap with a little bit of reward. You got to do something. Maybe you should do better business. I believe the people that are doing it don't need the money. But there are a lot of truck drivers out on the road. And it's a shame to say that if you're that bad a business, you shouldn't be driving your own truck. You shouldn't be an owner-operator. If you can't be businesslike, if you can't listen to what people say, if you can't replicate the knowledge that people give you, then maybe you shouldn't be in business. When somebody tells you something, you should listen. And if it works, recreate it to what you need it to work. Every truck driver, every company should be able to survive at least, if you're owning your own truck, 3 to 6 months without a check. You can go on unemployment, defer your truck payment. Go on unemployment, get that $600 a week. You can be earning $1,000 a week and have virtually no payments. That's what it's all about. It's about smarter business. It's about using this instead of this. But what happens? People think they're better. I'm a company driver now because I saw what was coming. I believe I told people what was coming, or something was coming. Early 2019, I said to the coach, freight rates are gonna suck. Mega carriers such as Landstar, Knight, two of the people that I spoke to had lost contracts with Walmart, Target, Amazon, because they were buying their own trucks. I said that. But certain individuals turn around and say, well, if they're losing it, it's coming to the spot market. So that means we're better off. Are you better off? Did it work? Who was right and who was wrong? Maybe you should have listened and keep your mouth shut, and you'd have been more prepared. I also told you that 2020, something big was going to happen. Huge. I could see it in the system. I could see it the way it happens. I've been on this planet a long time. I've been through a lot of shit. I listen. But, like I said something big was coming. I didn't know what it was. Now we know it's the pandemic. People that listened to me in early 2019, they're not asking for handouts. They're not begging for money. Because that's what it is now. The guys in Washington have already made it so anything you do is a beg. You're begging for money from the government. Doesn't matter. They beat you. You're second place. They have the ear of the president, well, the chief of staff. They're going to have a seat on the table. The guy gave him his email and said, look, let's correspond. You got a congressman that's going to go through all this bullshit. Now you got a guy that's got the president's here. I'll raise you a congressman on a president. I'll raise you a president over a congressman any day of the week. But you still don't get it. Whatever you do now is just begging. Please, sir, can I have some money? And then you got the stimulus packages. Nobody knows how to use them. I listened to James Best the other day. He didn't know how to use them. He thinks he's got to pay that back. If he pays that to his payroll, whether he does it himself and marks it down clearly in his books, or whether he gets a company to do it, or he gets his tax company to do it, like ATBS, when he sets up everything, he gets a payroll. Have that money sent to the payroll every week on the books. When you come back in November and the government says, okay, what happened with our money? Here it is, sir. I paid it to myself. I used it for payroll. I used it for my truck payment. I used it for my insurance bill, my IFTA, whatever. Business related. All that money that you're making just goes into savings. Profit of the business. Learn how to do business. It's not hard. But anyway, like I said, all hails in the comparison of what those guys did down in DC. Whether we agree with them or not, they got the job done. They got the year. Whether they leave or not, whether they make something of it or not, it's irrelevant. They got the ear of the president. So how do we get people more money? Well, unfortunately, it's like triage. We can help the people that we can help. The Republicans right now are not going to give you a shit ton of money. They're going to be against any kind of bailout for truck drivers or anything like that. Especially in the numbers that people are talking about. It's just not going to happen. Bad business to where you can't support yourself for 3 to 6 months is not a good enough reason for them to give you a stimulus package. It's not. It's just not. Not going to work. Not going to happen. Are you going to make it? Yeah, you will. Rates will come up. You'll start to make money. Company drivers, companies are taking care of us. We have incentives. We have bonuses to keep us running. Some people, their wages have actually gone up. The smaller carriers, well, they can apply for the payroll protection plan, which is what it was supposed to be for, and they can pay their employees. There is, as well, for any of you guys out there, there is a partial unemployment that you can take. What I mean by that is the federal $600. See, when this all started, President Trump beefed up unemployment, injected steroids into it, made it freaking supercharged, okay? Opened up all these different little avenues. You file for unemployment. If your wage has gone down, I got to say, if your wage has gone down. If your wage has gone up, you're screwed. But if you've actually taken a loss in wage, you can file for unemployment, even as a 1099 independent contractor. They opened it up to everybody. Because if you listen to what they say. You listen and read to what they release. So now, independent contractors, i.e. 1099 employees, owner-operators, self-employed, lease drivers, and company drivers can file for unemployment. If your wage has gone down, you will be picked up either by the state or by the federal unemployment. With the federal unemployment, you have up to $600 a week that you can claim if your wage has gone down. If your wage has gone down, are you taking advantage of that? Yes, and I know it doesn't help. People don't have the money yet. States are way behind because half the country went unemployed. There's women and stuff down in Georgia that still haven't got it. And they're feeding their kids with carrots from the next door neighbor's garden. And you're worrying about your stimulus package. I need some money. Well, they'll get paid in time. People will survive. People will survive. But nobody's asking the biggest question. Now, I'm not down to that. I'm not immune to it. I have a stimulus package that I would like to permit. Okay? And I would say, look, instead of giving the public, i.e. myself, anybody else, well, I didn't get a check anyway, so it doesn't matter. But instead of giving everybody thousands of dollars, why don't you take that trillion or so dollars that you were going to give to people and give it to the grocery stores like Walmart, Target, Kroger's, Giant, Food Lion. Split it out between them and say, look, we'll give you this, say $10 trillion, because that's probably what it will be at the end for public, is what they're going to give out to the general public. So here's this $10 trillion. You each get $1 trillion each. What we would like you to do is sell your groceries and consumables for free. That way, the people aren't required to have money to purchase food. So during the pandemic, they're stuck at home, their mortgage is safe, they're not going to get evicted, their electric's not going to be turned off, but they can still go to the grocery store and buy food. Cuts out starvation. Cuts out a lot of things. There are a couple of problems with that because people will hoard. Because apparently Americans don't know how to be sensible. Americans don't know how to be, what's the magical word? Not selfish. Instead of fixing it for everybody, they want to fix it for themselves only. Me and my. I don't care about you, me and my. So if you don't care about anybody else except for me and my, why'd you come out on the road for at the beginning of this pandemic? Really? Just a thought. Kind of hypocritical, but hey, things happen. Well, I'm not a mathematician. I do know math. I love numbers. But that's just my take on it. But I'm helping everybody, not just myself. I'm helping everybody. And if I got a check from the government, I would give my check to an animal company, to a animal shelter. I wouldn't keep it. I don't need it. But I won't get any checks. I'm not in that stimulus package. I never claim unemployment, so I never do anything like that. I don't believe that I should do that because I have the means to do to fix it other ways. But, like I said, I'm not an American. I live in this country, but I'm not an American, so. And I'm not shitting on America either. Don't even go there where I'm shitting on America. No. Because we found out what Americans were like, right? When they went to the grocery store and wiped out the toilet paper aisle when this is a respiratory disease. That's why the Walmarts and stuff were empty when this first went on, because they have to hoard stuff. That's why we're cutting throats right now to get a stimulus package. Oh, I want to be the guy that gives the stimulus package. That's why we bully people online. That's why we can't agree on anything. But that's just me. Anyway, great. I'm enjoying my brand new truck. Yeah, I did so much good work with Knight that brand spanking new truck. Even has the new Opti idle in. Yeah. on a Cummings. So, lots of power, lots of speed. Big upkeep. So, anyway, like I said, some of us are doing good, some of us are not doing so good. Maybe the people that are not doing so good should, it's a shame, but some people are just going to have to fail. You know, a single truck driver is not big enough to not fail. You know, it's not too big to not fail, like the banks were. We're not seen that way as truck drivers. We're not seen that way as businessmen. Because there's always somebody to come take our place. There is always somebody that can take our job. Doesn't matter who we are. If mega carriers wanted to wipe out the owner-operators, they could. They just lower the rates enough for long enough to cripple half the industry. Do you think brokers are hiding rates? And that's another thing, right? You limit a broker to how much money they can take off of the load. Now, if I was a broker, and I think I'm a smart man, but if I was a broker, I would turn around and say, look, okay, I won't take anything off the line haul. But I'd go to my customer and say, hey, what were you going to pay for this load? What are you going to pay for it? Say their load's 1,000 miles, and the customer says, well, we were going to pay in total, with everything in, $2,200. Okay, instead of taking my cut, I'm just going to charge you a broker fee for using that without it coming out of the line haul. Okay, so I want you to cut me 2 checks. I want you to cut me a check for $1,200 and one for $1,000. The $1,200 would be for my brokerage services, and the $1,000 would be for the truck driver, for the load. On that load only. You ask for proof how much the load pays, $1,000. How much did I pocket from it? Nothing. Because I took the second transaction from the company direct. See, when you work in everything, they can really screw you. They can really mess with you if they want to. Completely legal, they're a service. They're providing a service. Customer pays them to provide a service. The money that they were going to give, the money that they're giving to haul the load, gets sent on. They're just splitting their money up before it even gets to the broker. But they don't charge you a percent. They don't take anything out of it. There you get your 50 cents a mile run, and they make $1,200. So it could always be worse. That's just me. I mean, that's just a smart man if I wanted to screw truck drivers out of money. An old man told me a long time ago, actually it was an American from Tennessee, told me, there's no test in this world that a smart man can't work his way around. If you take this from the brokers and limit them to how much money they can make, they'll just change the test on you. They will just change the conditions of what you're working at. And they will win. Because unlike a lot of people, they're probably smarter than you. And that's not an insult. Because they know the numbers. They know the customers. They know how to get around the rules and the laws. So it isn't going to work. Are they overcharging? Maybe. But nobody's holding a gun to your head to pull the load. I think if people worked on conformity, uniting the truckers, instead of cutting them down, if people worked together, they would probably stand a better chance. Just me saying. If you work together, you could probably succeed and rebuild a whole lot of problems. When this pandemic's over, this channel's going to take off like a hotcake. We're going to have some cool content that's coming in. But I just wanted to put it out there. So when somebody comes back, and nobody's probably going to watch this for a while, but if it comes back and people are going to look at it and say, damn, he was right. I normally am. I'm that kind of a person. I normally am right. I was right about 2019 and I was right about 2020. That's why I'm a company driver now, not a owner-operator. We have to work together. We have to stop the bickering. We have to stop the name calling. We have to grow up. So what? You lost money. Go find what you can find right now. Go get the stimuluses you can. File the unemployment. Phone your unemployment office. Say, look, my wage is considerably lower. I need to file. Even if it's only partial. They'll give you partial. They'll pump you over to the federal side and say, here, you could get $600 extra a week. And you can still work too. Because it's a partial. You're still working. You can sit around and wait for that better load. With the payroll protection plan, you can sit around and wait for that load and not have to take $1 a mile. So when the broker puts it on the board for $1 a mile, you turn around and say, yeah, no, I'm not going to take that. I'm just going to sit here. I mean, you could potentially have $1,600 a week for the next 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks. Easy. How much do you think that would mean to the brokers? If every truck driver had the ability, every owner-operator had the ability to bring in $1,600 a week without doing anything, do you think you'd be able to wait for that great paying load? Of course you would. And they would have to raise the rates. You beat them at their own game. Not by trying to regulate them. We're going to snitch to the government. Sir, he's stealing from us, but he's doing it legally. Come on. Learn how to be businessmen. Stop being juveniles. Because that's all it is. It's juvenile. The complaining, the begging. Oh, whether it's communist or whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. People are starving. Do you have food under in your bed? Do you have food in your belly? You have a warm bed to sit in at night? You know, there are people in this country that have been laid off that still haven't got employment, that have just barely got their stimulus check. Some people haven't even got their stimulus check yet. And they haven't had money in months. Their savings are depleted. Stop being juvenile. Think about what's good for the country. It's a pandemic. It's not a disaster. It's not government-made. It's not man-made. I hope this reaches people and they look at it and think this is a good thing. Maybe. I don't know. This country is very hard to read. They want to do the right thing, but then they don't know how to do it. It's like they just give up. Don't give up. Fight back. Use your brain. Leave a comment. Subscribe. If you need help, leave a comment. We'll get in touch. I can help you. I can help you be profitable in times of disaster. I can help you be profitable constantly. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a truth you don't want to hear. And to be blunt, there are some people out here that don't need to be out here. Some people that don't need to be out here for many different reasons. Either they don't know what to do, what they're doing, or C, they don't have a clue. Doesn't matter. Leave a comment and we'll get together and help. Otherwise, you're on your own. But it's not about us. If anything, it's not about us. It's about everybody. Whether you like it or not, get the job done. Till next time, I'm the trainer, and I'll keep training.